Okay, so it's like 4:40 in the morning, and I was in there making another cup of tea. This one's my third, and I could hear the birds out singing. I just love the way that they're so happy and pleasant, and just bring the world to life in the morning. So I thought, well, that's what we're gonna listen to this morning. So I opened the door. The porch light's on. It's way darker out there than it looks. So I didn't. Oh my gosh, she's gonna go. People will be like, I can't hear over her snoring. Like, I can't wait to hear her barking. Um, so I didn't open the window thing because it's super dark out. But excuse me, lady, I was talking. She such a grumbles. So so last night was just as weird as any other night. So whatever, I've been up. I don't know. It was just like tossing and turning anyways. It's so uncomfortable. I have been so uncomfortable. I can't even believe it. I did order some of that NAD or whatever. I didn't, I see these ads all the time, all the time, all the time. And then Crystal was saying she got some of the stuff in it. She really liked it. So on the ads, it's always talking about, they're sure this is what all the movie stars are taking. That's why they look younger. They're not all getting Botox. Some of them are getting some weird shit. I don't know. It seems like maybe, like in my head, how I see it is like there's certain actresses that go in for parts, and whether like directors say it, producers, agents, but people are really mean to them about their looks. Like, you look too good or you look too bad. And just the way that they talk to them, and they think that they can say whatever they want. But like, I think they tell them, like, you got to go, go get some injection. I think they even have certain doctors that they send them to, like, go see so and so. And but not all the actresses. And I don't know if it's certain ones that just refuse it and just say, well, I don't care, I won't take the part. And other ones, it's like this ego drive that gets them into this position, but there's always a negative side. Like, they think that they're, becoming super successful, but then their face starts contorting because their soul's contorting. That's the thing. And they're going into this, I don't know, it's a whole thing. But on these ads, it keeps saying like all these movie stars and all this stuff take this, is that's why they look like they're not aging. And like, I was thinking Keanu Reeves or something, how whenever they show the pictures, it's like he just doesn't look like he gets that much older. And I know like some of the other ones, like Sandra Bullock, she's already said she uses baby foreskin for hers. And some of these others, like, who knows? I mean, they drink that stuff like they're, I don't know that all of them do. I mean, maybe Sandra's worst thing is that she uses this foreskin, but she doesn't think about, like, what happens when we use parts off people? What happens? Like, let's think it through. Let's think it through. Think they're going to start taking parts before? You think there's going to be some black market? You think there's going to be some criminal activity? I think you can wager on that. So, doesn't take a fucking brain science, a brain science. Trying to say something smart ass and you can't even say it. So, anyways, you know what I'm saying though. We all know what I'm saying. Oh yeah, and the people who watch first thing and right when it goes on. Have you guys noticed how fast it is downloading? It has been several in a thing, because I'll tell you what time I'm starting, so then you figure like finish an hour and a half. I mean, you can tell how long, and then when it downloads, and it is downloaded in like 15 minutes. Some of them super fast. I think the longest one lately has been like an hour. But compared to what it used to be, oh my God, it used to be 5 or 8 hours sometimes. I couldn't believe how long it would take to download. It was ridiculous. So yeah, this is way different. And And I don't know what all that means, too, because I don't know if that means they're slipping in the quantum thing, like they're changing things. Like, I don't know. I mean, there's people who say that stuff, but, I don't know. I mean, I know something's going to happen. And I've heard all eyes on this debate next week. There's supposed to be this Joe Donald debate that's going to be the kicker of why they're going to say Joe can no longer be. They're going to use this or something. I don't know. Uh, we'll see. But I imagine there's going to be some drama. Who knows? He's going to poop his pants. He's going to face the wrong direction. He's going to start talking to people who knows what they have planned. And that's the thing, is so many of these people are in on the plan, just like his family coming out and saying this stuff. Those have got to all be paid actors. I saw somebody who even looked up, the press secretary lady for him, and she's dark hair, sticks out, my favorite kind of hairstyle. And somebody looked her up. She's an actress. Like, they looked her up on IMDb or whatever. And some people are saying, look up a bunch of these people. You'll see they're actors. And even when Donald, when I talked about, like, when I started seeing through the bullshit, I knew something was up. I just didn't. It's just trippy when you just realize the manipulation with the media and how corrupt and shit. Like, and then it just, so much of the stuff just starts going together. It's just like one light comes on, they all start coming on. It is like a wave in your mind, just like there's a wave across humanity in this awakening. But when you see this stuff, and then there's more information, that's why I don't get stuck. So many people get stuck, and they just get stuck on one thing, and they just keep going over the same thing. 4 years, we've been talking about the same thing, and it's like, oh my gosh, you guys, there's way more to this awakening than just this corrupt, gotta get Donald in there. It's like, geez, broaden your perspective. It's like a savior. That's the third group. That is, the third group has a dependency on a savior. Because when you have a dependency on a savior, you don't face yourself. You're giving your power away to someone else. You got to be able to face yourself. That's what it is. And what was that? I had just heard someone else saying something else too. I don't remember if theirs was something like the religious people are going to have the hardest time with what's about to go down. Yeah, that's what I see too. It's like this certain group because there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of they know, and other people are stupid. There's a certain group of people that there's a lot of them in there. And I think that's why I have noticed so much of Donald just saying dickhead things. I don't know, just to keep pushing on immigration and criminals. And I don't know if I'm just catching these little moments that I just see. And because I don't go in and listen to that stuff, but whenever I hear the stuff about immigration, it just is like, if we really all want freedom for ourselves, if you want freedom for yourself, you got to want freedom for everybody. Like, think about it. So if we want to be able to be free and not have anybody telling us what to do, and show your papers, where's your papers? Did you pay your taxes and your license? Did you get those papers? So we don't want to have that pursuant on our ass, then why should we think that anyone else deserves it? We want, and the thing that gets people so freaked is open borders. Well, we got to have a protection. We got to have our prison. What if you let all of them come in our prison? This is our prison. Get out of our prison. It's like, well, I don't want to be in a prison anymore. I'm ready to fly. I want the fucking sky. I want the fucking, well, it's still about the ocean, open water. And I have seen more people now freaking out about that guy. It's freaky. It's just this young guy going across fucking, now he did the Baja on his skin, and he was like a music teacher or something, and he decided he wanted to pursue this. I go across the ocean. And then somebody in the comments said, oh, if you, this guy's freaking out, you ought to see the guy who's done it in a kayak 3 times. I was like, what the fuck? People got some balls, man. Boy, boy, howdy. They haven't had a life, I think, where they were killed in that way. So it's got to draw. Some of us, we've been in shipwrecks. We've been in all sorts of shit. There's been a lot of, just the same as like, there's so many of us went off cliffs. So many of us been in water trauma. So yeah, there's been drownings amongst us. So I don't know. Some of those people don't have that, I think. So they still have that dance. They're going to go out and dance with it. But what I was going to say a second ago was about old Donald. So he kept having, when he kept being on the stage, I said, and he would pull these people on stage, and it was like he was question that the things he would say, it was clear to me, like I don't know what other people notice or what they get caught up in, but what was clear to me is he was getting them like, and maybe it's because I've had one of those done before. What are those things called? Deposition. So if you've ever been in a deposition, and it was kind of reminded me of that when I was watching him talk, and I was like, it is getting lighter looking. He is getting them on record. He's getting them on record is what he's doing, saying these certain things, and it's so obvious. And I don't even know if it was the real person, like, or if it was, a character playing the person, because some of these people were taken out a long while ago. And it's hard for me to imagine that the fraud wasn't taken out a long time ago because of his work with, AIDS and all that stuff. I mean, this guy's been pretty active in that mad scientist world for a long time. Murder and mayhem is his gold standard. So, but, so when Donald would be up there talking, he would be uh, questioning these people, and I kept noticing, I kept being, and plus there was things that I knew, and I was like, why would this doctor say, like, what? This is some bullshit. Like, they're lying. Like, I could see they were lying, and he kept being like, it was like he was being like the innocent, and asking the professionals. And there was so much that was going on at that time. Like media was so much on his ass. He was saying such stupid stuff. Oh, what about light? What about like frequency? What about like he was saying things that now knowing is it was all being set up. And even that whole thing with that Kofifi thing, there's so many things where the media would make like he had misspelled something when it wasn't. Like him coming in and saying he was starting a space program right off the bat was right off the bat to get people to think like, starting a space program. I was excited. I was like, fucking finally somebody's gonna start admitting this shit. And other people were laughing at him, like, what a ridiculous wonkadonk that fella is. And that's what the media would try and spin it as. But I felt like, oh, there's a change of brewing. There's a change of coming. And uh, whatever the stuff that he would say, they would always just like try and spin it and make it into like his tomfoolery, but it was really his outsmarting them. And that's why people start saying like, oh, he's this master at playing this 3D chess. What I would always notice is he has like, and I think any of us, I know I've done it before, and I consider it now more of a manipulation, but to just kind of play dumb, just kind of play dumb. And it works, a lot for girls. Like your car's broken down, you just play dumb, and you just got somebody who's helping you, but anyways, there's times and places where we use these little manipulations. And if we're honest with ourselves, we can notice that we use these kind of acts and at certain times. And that's what I kept seeing, like he's acting more dumb or something. And then the part where the media is so flambazing, man, then that is like you're a bully when you jump onto that, especially this like you come across as this innocent, just nice guy or something. And um, so then but the person, he said we had this guy who was always standing around with them. And so people started being like, who is this guy? And he introduced him as like Mnuchin or something like that. And he's like a director or something in movies. And so they kept making sure that we all kept seeing this guy that was with them. So it was like, okay, this is all staged. This is all staged. And I just saw a video this morning that just really brought this home to me. Hold on, let me get a drink. As I've seen a few, you got to think about, like, this is awakening. And there's a group that was trying to stop it, that they thought they could. And then there's a group who is trying to promote it because it's necessary, because people can get their shit together, because the earth is in this big change. And so people need to get with the program. And they're trying to keep people out of it and keep people not taking care of themselves, not healing themselves, dependent, falling apart, whining, crying. And but all that side of themselves, see, when the lights come on, they'll see that side of themselves. So that will promote that healing in them. And then they're going to feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I was so whiny. Oh my God, I can't believe I kept asking everybody for help me. I can't believe, there's going to be so much that people are going to see this other side. And so many people go on social media and beg for money when they get into a crisis. So many people. And it is so, so strong to me all the time that what you need comes to you. It comes to you. You don't have to go out and chase it. You don't have to force something. And that is something that's super important, is how much people waste time trying to force what they want to have happen instead of letting things flow. They keep trying to disrupt the pattern and make what they want to have happen. And that causes their own frustration, and it makes them feel like the universe is out to get them and stuff. But why do they think they know better than the universe? Like, get your shit together. It is, you got to learn to relax and go with the flow and not try and force things. But so there's a lot of people who will see these things when like the lights come on, which could be at any moment. Like it could literally be at any moment. Because I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be the presidential thing. I don't know if it's going to be a nuke thing. I don't know if it's going to be the money thing. I don't know if it's going to be like, there's some crazy shit going on. Crazy. It gets crazier and crazier. There's a crazy fucking video of a guy, of a sky thing in Texas. And they said helicopters were going. See, they got that drama going too. And then, we don't know how much of it is all staged and stuff. Because this video I had seen this morning that was on the beach in California. And some guy called the cops because there was a boat that it looks like, when they bring a bunch of illegals on or something. Definitely criminal shit. And it was up on the shore. So it was up on the shore. Then they left a bunch of stuff in the boat. So not everything was out of the boat. So they called the cops, and there was some big jugs and stuff in there, and bags and backpacks and everything. And there's so much illegal shit that goes on, man. It could be people, it could be kids, they could be being dropped off out there, and I mean, they probably bring all sorts of shit when they're committing crimes on those boats. It's like, are you gonna take a couple kids? Well, take these drugs and take this and take that. Like, you know what I mean? So they probably got a lot of stuff on them, and so it's up on the beach with all this stuff, and then there's all these cops and all these lifeguards, everything. Everybody's out there around it and stuff. And I was like, this sure seems like it's staged. I mean, this stuff keeps happening in the middle of the night. Like all of a sudden, there's a dragon on the Empire State Building. There's a boat left by the criminals. Why? I mean, were these boats always? Do we have these boats pulling up every night and being left there? So some of the, man, there's so many fucking insane crimes going on too right now. It's like so crazy. And you got to keep putting it in perspective, I think. You can hear the wind picking up. I don't hear the birds so much, no. I hear the wind chimes. I always know it's pretty windy when I hear the wind chimes. It made me realize, like, the wind speaks to you. The wind has a tone that makes a tune. But when the wind chimes start going, that's when I start knowing it's windy. It's like, oh, man. Wind is the worst when you're up by those big, huge trees. And the other day, that one did fall right by the guy's house. And he has trees out surrounding. But I was thinking, well, maybe it was because that's right by the house. But they didn't just build that house. They redid that. It was like an old trailer thing. And they redid it. So, I don't know. You wouldn't think it would have messed with the roots or something that much. But maybe they did. But I don't know. I have some big ass trees right here. The girl next door to me, she has a big ass tree that's dead. And she called somebody out. And they said, oh, we can't even, you're just going to have to, if it's windy, just sleep on the other side of the house. Don't sleep upstairs. I was like, oh. Maybe the chaos is breaking out. There's been so much chaos and it's so fucking loud. That's weird. It's unusual out here. Maybe normal for the city, but it's not out here rural. Strange. Maybe it's the bear. We have a bear that's loose out here. And of course, it was right behind my house. And the guy back there, he didn't have a fenced yard. And he's the one whose tree had fallen down on the porch. He's the one who's behind me and her. His house is behind ours. And that's where the bear was, up on his deck. But it was all over in other places too. It was trying to get in people's cars. If it gets in your car, I guess it really tears shit up too. That's so weird. Just be ready for a weird day. Oh, it's a Sunday. Oh yeah, and these motherfuckers have already started with the fireworks. I guess. Yesterday there was something that went off and then it went all through the woods. It was the creepiest sound. I wish I would have got it on audio, but I think even when you get some of this stuff, it doesn't sound like it does in person. Just like the colors don't pick up the same. But it was like an explosion way over here. And then I heard it travel all the way through the forest and come out way over there. I was like, that is a long fucking ways. And how did it do? What was that? Why don't we hear that kind of stuff all the time? Like there's all this new things happening. The planes are super loud. Keeps being plane crashes. There keeps being horrible. Oh my gosh, so many tragedies with people on vacations. So I've said, like, this is a time to be paying attention. I know there's a lot of people just going and living their lives and stuff, and I know it seems strange or odd to some of us who kind of stay more to like, oh man, I want to go out and deal with that. I'm gonna go out and deal with the crazy people, go out and deal with the traffic. And I do want to go see my kids and my grandkids, so I'm going to have to do that. But it's kind of, it's still being left to the universe. I mean, it's kind of been this whole time. Because, like I said, you don't have to force things. The things happen. It's like, this is, hold on. This is hard to explain, too. Because it's like, I'll use my example of the breast in the car. So, and then the car, you know, that goes with travel and stuff like that. And then, I mean, there's even more stuff. There's the house. I mean, I've got a lot of people thinking I need to be packing all this time. I need to be looking for a place to go and stuff. And I keep on thinking, well, if that was the case, something, you know, would open up. That would be where I would be directed. It wouldn't just be other people saying that. That to me is like this push from outside of us and not listening to our internal voice. Because my internal voice is like got me fucking epoxying my mosaic table, making a closet, uh, my dressing room. That's what it is, my dressing room, and doing all sorts of stuff like that. Like I'm ready to start ripping out walls in the thing and doing stuff. So I feel very much not motivated to start packing stuff. But then you've got that fear energy around, and you have people who direct those energies towards you too. And so even, um, it could be on a certain level that those things coming at me from other people thinking that. And when it hits into me, it gives me this little like, oh, but then I have to talk myself through it like, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I don't feel like that is what's going to happen. I feel like we're already in the process of all of these things falling apart. And it is more of like, like I already had those lessons. I already lost 2 different houses. I lost one after I got my brain injury, and then when my was leaving my relationship junkie life, I lost that one. So it was in houses to me. It was very much my stability, my security, my safety. And when I didn't have one, and it was going to be that I was going to have to rent, it put me in a panic. And like I hadn't rented in a long ass time. And so it really put me into really feeling like things were out of control. It was very like there's so many different things. Like after my brain injury that I had to heal, this whole loss of identity, my income, this life I built, my friends, my everything fell apart and changed. And then I started trying to rebuild it, but I was just as fucking toxic. I was toxic. I think I was needy. I was whiny. I was super impulsive. I was out of control. Um, like I wasn't doing well. And so, of course, what energy did I bring into me? And so I, was trying to hold it together and stuff. But it really benefited me once I was by myself and I could really focus on me. And that is kind of like with the car thing. And it's kind of like the messages I've gotten back too, is it was good for me to focus on me, to choose me, because throughout my life, I would have chosen the responsible thing. Well, I got to fix the car. I got to be able to do this. I got to be able to do that. I got to get to them. I got to take care of what they need. And all of those kinds of things would have been way more of how I would have looked at things. And so, and always I would have felt like, how selfish, to put myself first. That is a completely selfish thing to do. Like that, I think a lot of us have that. I mean, most of us come from some part of our childhood experience feeling abused in some way. And that's part of what we're here to overcome and stuff. So those are the kind of particles that come out of those kind of situations. And so, the manipulation thing, but the feeling like if you want anything for you, that you're selfish and, you shouldn't need or want anything. You should just be, not taking up any space and just giving and everything to everyone else kind of thing. Those are things where we have to heal and stuff. And that's why I said it takes a lot about boundaries, a lot about believing in yourself, learning how to love yourself. So those all go together. And so, and my healing's been going for a long time, and it's been segmented, as I believe everything must be segmented. So I think that's the common thread and the common theme. But so in these different segments, these windows of time, these opportunities of existence, these little placeholders of experience. It's like, and then they're like linked together, but it's so much more vague, linked together than what we give this whole thing about. Well, we go to sleep and stuff, but really, it's like our consciousness just goes off and does some other shit. Like, and leaves. It's like, there's nothing to do here, so I'm going to go do some other shit. I'll be back when there's stuff to do. And I'm just going to leave this vessel for a while, so it's going to rest up, hopefully. But then, I don't know, sometimes you start becoming super aware of what you're doing. So then it's like, I don't know. I don't know, it's not restful sleep, that's for sure. So anyways, when you get to the thing, like in my healing thing there, throughout it, it definitely became a part of the physical. But how did it go? Because it was weird, because it would be more like, I don't know, like in quarantine when that happened. And I just felt really, really motivated. And I kept having guys in their jail cells on my mind. I kept picturing them down doing push-ups and stuff. I was thinking, okay, well, I don't have a lot of space. I'm kind of limited a bit. I'm just going to turn this, like, do the same thing. Well, if all I got is this little space, I'll just start taking care of myself. And so I started doing, like, exercise in my house. And that's why I said it was weird. Then all of a sudden they started putting, and probably because there was a lot of people that were doing that, but of these different apps that came out, wall Pilates, all these different things about doing these at home. But anyway, so I was having that happen to me just for my guidance. And then when I started going into the movement and stuff, it started showing me all this other stuff. I didn't know what it was. But then later I started seeing more of, like, they'll show me something, or it's like, it reminds you of something. And you'll start doing something and you'll think, oh, this probably is so strange, but it feels right. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. And then I'd see a video, and like that Shangong or something, and it's like doing chi exercises and stuff like that. And so that's why I was like, man, we have this stuff inside of us naturally. Like, we know this stuff, but we just hold ourselves back. Like, think about a time when you've been at a thing, a place or something, and you just got yourself super uptight because you were so focused on what other people were going to think. I think some people live like this all the time. Like, that consumes them. But some of us have had different periods of time, like being in front of your boss and the CEO or something, like, and you're standing there and you want to say certain things, but then it's like you find yourself acting different or something than you are. And like you just get really uptight and uncomfortable, like you have a hard time being yourself. And so, whatever that is, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. So let's go skip back over to the, maybe I finished what I was talking about. I have no idea. So, anyways, on the healing thing. So I was focused on that, and then whatever had happened, because it was, maybe it was just kept about the food and the poisoning of the food and all that, and the ingredients. But I was going in a certain direction already, but it was all going together, the information and the direction I was going. And because that whole thing happened so organically with the magnesium, the copper, and the vitamin D. And, that was like unexpected. So it was like the path was already going to me towards my health and stuff, and like the information about the explants, because there was a lot of stuff where I just kept thinking, because it was when I got off all the medicine too, when I got off all that, because that was back in like 2016. So see, that became a part of my healing from the start, because I was so sick, man. I was so sick. And now to know, like, it could have been I had Hep C too. I had colitis, Hep C, like, I was sick. I really thought, like, man, I'm gonna die. And and I didn't care. I could care less. But the Anyways, that is more when I started really focusing on my health and healing and trying to take better care of myself. But it's been in different little sections. And so then it was more recently. So I had already gone through these different things. And when you're going through the different things, they're all associated with parts of you that need healing. So it's a journey. It is seriously a journey. It's steps. It's not something you can just jump and skip and stuff. And you got to go through the steps of taking care of yourself. And as you do these things, you face things and you realize things and you heal things. And so it's step by step by step by step is where you get to where you want to go, and not trying to outsmart it or, just sit and raise your vibration by thinking high vibration thoughts. No, you got to actually take the steps and heal the things. And so, and then other things will come to you once you heal one thing. Is this is something like, if you've been on the healing journey for a long time, there's a lot of people be like, well, I already healed, I'm healed, and then they're devastated months later when they're like hit by something else. And but what I had noticed is it's like you heal one thing and then you're strong enough to heal the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And don't get all caught up in, like, remember, you've lived millions of lives probably. Just as like you're a library full of information, and there's parts of you that need to heal. So don't feel like, like, well, I healed once, that should have been plenty. Just go with the flow, what things come to you. And there's still so much, even with the explant thing, there's still so many things that come into my mind and stuff. It's crazy. So, but I chose myself, and I knew, and I knew. And then some people could say, well, then you caused it because you thought you knew, but you caused it. That's to me the egg or the chicken, what came first kind of situation. And that is, the same argument that I have over manifesting, where people think, oh, you manifested or something. It's like, well, no, I think I was following what my guides told me. I was getting prepared, not just manifesting. But if you guys won't call it manifesting, we'll call it manifesting. So I was manifesting the, but I was getting my explant right now, and you guys already know, like, all the stuff, like how I went through and calling, and it was disappointing when I was calling different ones, like, because I was trying to force it, and I was trying to, but at the time I didn't know I was trying to force it. I thought, okay, this is already opened up. They've opened this up. But that's what I'm saying is like, no, the things just keep coming to you. Sometimes they show you the direction, but it doesn't mean that you have to start knocking on all the doors as they show you. But so I started knocking on all the doors, calling all these people, getting disappointed. But see, I'm creating my own disappointment because I'm trying to control it. So I'm creating something that I don't need to go through, because the more that I can sit back and relax, the more that things will play out. But I wanted to get in there, and get it done. I got frustrated with the doctor in Spokane and stuff. Well, I was not even supposed to go there, see? I wasn't even, but I thought, that name had come up. This must be the thing. That must be where I'm going. And so, but then creating my own frustration. And, but I don't know if this other one, it seems like that was pretty much the standard, especially if you have been living more than 60 years on this planet. Well, you obviously need a physical, because you're probably on death's door, because they know, like, you've dealt with a lot of poisoning at this point. We don't have much hope for you going much longer. You've got to have a lot of problems. You wouldn't believe how often or how many of the, it's like you go into the medical thing, especially at my age, and you don't have anything wrong, and they're just like, it's like, well, I had things wrong when I took your prescription, but now that I don't, now I'm good to go. I'm feeling good. But I am going to try that NAD stuff, because all these people keep saying that it's so good, and it does stuff for healing brains too, because people are taking it from Alzheimer's. But the but I want to see if it makes a difference because it also changes your hair. So I want to see if it makes any difference because I do feel like it keeps reaching this point where it kind of, but then this morning I was like, well, really, this part is getting darker and it is more of this, this will keep getting smaller, smaller, smaller. Like, I don't know. I just want it to hurry. I want to rush it. but, um, but anyways, so I chose me and I spent the money on getting the breast thing. And, um, and there's a whole way that it plays out in the mind too, because when I was trying to figure out the money and the payments and stuff, and then to me it was like a nagging feeling, like, well, you could do it faster. You could do it faster, and that's where I started being like, oh yeah, I haven't paid. I'm not late on my bills. I could go to the food bank that month and get food. Um, I could rush it and do it within a few weeks. Just take each check and give it to them, or the majority of the check. And so that's what I did. And then I knew that there was going to be something because this has been a pattern throughout my life. And it started back when I was a kid. If I was going to do something, and see, that's when I would always make the choice to do the responsible thing. And always. And so it was definitely a positive message about me choosing me and not other things. So I knew I was going in the right direction. Then plus, all the stuff that was going with the car, there was like lessons involved with it. But in my mind, they kept telling me to trust that you're going to get me there. Don't worry about it. You're going to get there. It's going to get done and everything. But when you are looking at all the problems, that's all you can see is all the problems. And it's like, so it's this spiritual battle. Like, okay, just trust everything's going to be fine. You don't need to go in and fix it all. It's going to be fine. And, but then they'll tell you if it's something you need to fix. So that's why you got to tune in to what it is, because there's a lot of information that comes in all the time. And it's, to me, anyways. So I knew that there was going to be something that was going to come up with the car. I knew I was going to be faced with the decision if the car or the explant. And then I chose to do the explant. And now, I'm getting the car and turning it in. It's this giant ordeal. I still don't even know if the other part will come in. Who knows what's going to happen? I know it's going to be fine. That's the thing, is I know everything's going to be fine. I know things are going to be changing and happening. And there's going to be a lot of changes in so many things. So I've just got to keep looking at it as things fall apart. But I'm going to fix the thermostat and the stopped up thing. It's still, it's not even raining. And my car keeps being water in the bottom of the car. It's like, where is this water coming from? Is something in the motor leaking into the car? Maybe that, see, when I go. And then maybe that's going to be another thing. And when I go there, see, that's going to tell me if I can even go see the grandkids or something. And I'm still not going to feel like that I made the wrong choice, because I feel like I made the right choice to choose my health, that this other thing will work out. And for some reason, the universe has this moment of separation where it feels like, it feels like this distance between being able to go see my kids, because I wait all winter and now they've drug these winters out. Like, winters used to be like a couple months. Now they've drug them out to, it's like half the motherfucking year is winter. The other half is fucking crazy ass storms. So it must be, it was so weird. Yesterday, it was not supposed to be sunny. So then the sun came up. It was super sunny. But then now I was outside doing some stuff, and I was seeing the clouds frequency blowing them in, and then but I was like, oh, it's pretty hot. Maybe it will be okay to lay out today. So I went and got my swimsuit on and stuff. Went and laid in my chair right as the sun was coming over the tree. then this giant ass cloud that took up the whole sky came in and blocked it out. And then it was overcast, 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 and it did sprinkle for a while because I went to go take Stella for a walk, and of course, started sprinkling right then. So then I took my cushions back off my furniture again, and now, and there was some weird colors too. There's definitely some weird colors. Now it's like dark, overcast, like stormy still, like. And then the passes are always worse. Then you got to drive through shit to the pass, and then it's almost the 4th. And then it's going to be like, oh my God, there's going to be shit. Like, this is going to be, like, there already is so much shit going down. And that could very well be why, I'm more, uh, what is that called? More, kind of what people do to their dogs, tie them down or something. Like the universe kind of has me tied down. This is not like I could get that part. And then if I go and rent a car, it costs me as much as getting this one part fixed. So then it's like, man, you put the money in to go, like, isn't that being desperate then? And then I'm not getting the car fixed at all. Like, I got to go towards getting the car fixed. And then hopefully, maybe by August, be able to get there. I don't know. I just got to see how this keeps going. But it makes me feel sad, of course, because I want to get over there and see them. Especially even like the babies growing fast, but the teenage girls, man, they go from little kids to teenagers just like boom. It's like, oh my God. And then you're not cool there for a while. You're just like, oh my God, grandma. God, grandma. So it's like, oh, before it's like, grandma, grandma. And then it's like, okay, grandma. So, but the little kids, they'll still be, well, guys, they don't really know me. They'll probably just cry for the whole days I'm there. Ah, get me away from that crazy lady. But for some reason, this is the way things are supposed to be. I don't feel like I made the wrong choice. And I feel like going with the flow and letting it play out the way it's supposed to play out. And, the car is going to get fixed the way it's supposed to get fixed. Just like, the money came to get the explant thing as soon as they called and told me the thing. I took the safe route and made the appointment for 2 months. But then after I made the appointment and I made the one payment, then I was like, I'm going to do this and change the appointment. So I changed it right away into 1 month. And so that's manifesting. But that was with what was being said in my head too. And them telling me, I don't know, they send signals of trust or going the wrong way kind of thing. And so to me, when your car is broke down, it's to hold you in place. And that would have been like all of my, well, half of my money or more than half of the explant thing. And then if I was waiting to get that right now and everything is just going so crazy, and I don't know that it's going to be safe to be driving, 5 hours to go visit and be away from my place. And there's all sorts of floods now. There's floods, fires, volcanoes, earthquakes. Where is it? There's got a big fucking earthquake, a 6.7 and a 7.0 or something over I want to say Indonesia, but I don't know why I keep having Indonesia keeps being stuck in my mind all the time, I think. And Iowa, city in Iowa flooded. Their houses are all underwater. The fires, they've got fires, I think, in Palm Springs and in New Mexico. I mean, I think in Arizona there's something too. Like, there's so much shit. There's so much stuff. Over here by me, see, it's always when you see all this shit going, it's like, it makes you nervous. It's like, well, something's got to start going here. What's going to be going on here? We're just getting prepared for the volcano, the earthquake. Like, and everything is by timing. Like, even to go, the drive that I would have to go, it would be like driving past Mount St. Helens to get there. It's like if shit was going to go down. And then you'd be, I don't know. It's hard to say what's going to go down and when it's going to go down. but I definitely feel like there's a direction, but it doesn't always go with what it is that like our desire. Like my heart's desire is to go, I wish I could just walk out the door and walk next door and be playing with my grandkids and seeing them. And then when it's not being that way, then it's like, but there's a purpose, there's a reason it's not. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's always been kind of strange how the whole thing ended up, how I ended up over here by myself on the other side of the mountain, away from all my family. And it was always kind of strange. But then I saw all the benefits. I was like, oh, and then it made sense because there is such a focus on yourself, because that is where I was like, man, it really does. Like your family can very much interfere with your growth, because like what I was talking about, you get locked into roles. We've got to be so much more lenient with different people's roles in families. Like somebody who's the addict, everybody just looks at them, the addict, the rotten one, that, for forever. And the person can never break free from that because the way that other people treat them. So I can see why there's a lot of people who need to break free from their families while they're healing, but just don't make it like a permanent thing where it's like, well, for the rest of my life, I'm never speaking to these people, because some people start going through that. It will happen naturally. It's not something like they have to go listen to me. Their soul will tell them. Their soul will start eating at them, and then they'll have to humble themselves, depending on how dramatic it was of a situation, to fight with them and the mean things they said, how much they have to humble themselves to bring back the bond and the cohesiveness back into their family when they feel like they're strong enough to do that. And everybody's got to do that for themselves. So that will kind of happen naturally. But it is, you don't want to just figure you're just going to blow somebody off forever because they hurt you. And that's one thing too, is the more that we can not judge the people who hurt us. I mean, when you really think about it, it's very judgmental. Like we become very judgmental over people who hurt us. And the more that we can understand that that is somebody who's hurt themselves and is lashing out and is their own worst nightmare, their own worst enemy, they are their own problem. And all we're doing is adding on to their problems by giving them the ammunition to hate themselves more. It's way better, I think, to kill people with kindness, that kind of thing, when people are assholes or something, just being really nice and really nice, it really throws them, I think, off their game. And it helps them, because not all things happen at that instant. That's where the universe steps in. A lot of things happen at night when people are trying to go to sleep and they're laying there relaxing and things are replaying in their minds and they're being bombarded with certain ways of looking at things. Then that is more when a lot of realizations or growth and stuff will occur during those restful periods. That's why I said it's super important to have your restful time, your time of reflection. And that is one of the reasons why they keep so many people's disruptions in their schedules, and they keep people on such a tight schedule under pressure. You're a real failure if your kid's not playing several sports and doing an instrument, and you're not working 10 hours a day, and all the stuff that they make people feel like that they're not doing enough, because people have that gnawing at them that they're failing, they're not doing enough, and then they're becoming frustrated because everything they're doing is getting them nowhere. And but there's lots of lessons too, lots of lessons being learned. Like I just saw like so many people, so many, and there are moral lessons, these moral lessons. And I just saw this woman was showing her neighbor's house. It's this big ass house. And she was talking about this big ass front porch this guy built. So this huge house. And the guy went and built this ginormous front porch the whole way of the house. And when they lived there, he had two little toddlers, and they would be out on that porch playing all the time. And the woman the neighbor thought, what a cute, adorable thing, and what a good guy building them this house. But then he started having an affair at work and texts his wife and says that I love this woman at work. We're having sex all the time. I can't keep off of her. She's so good. She's way better than you. I gotta see you later. And so broke up with her, and she took off and with the kids, left the state and went back somewhere. And but she had just written the letter or a message to the neighbor and said how good she's doing, and she got a good job. She's going back to school and see all the things that we think we're doing better. Um, and so she said that that's a lot better because the guy, he is losing the house. He's got so much child support he's got to pay. He can't afford to pay the house. The girl broke up with him, of course, and now he's looking for different couches to sleep on of people he knows. And, so she was like, the moral of the story, like, if you build a big porch on your house and for your family, you know, keep your dick in your pants. But that is so true. Like, people start thinking, well, there's something better, there's something better. But a lot of people's relationships weren't built on a strong foundation. They were just like, well, you look good. Well, I think you look good. Well, okay, let's make a family. And it was all shallow and superficial. People don't even know how to go into deeper emotional bonds. And in an unhealed society, everybody is out to protect themselves. I mean, there's so many girls, you think like the more skimpier you dress, the more chance you have of getting a husband. It's like, is that the kind of husband you want? One that wants you to not have any clothes on? To, like, that's not the kind of guy that you want to have. And all these girls, and they're so competitive, and I don't know, that's a whole thing that's got to come to the surface. In the female thing, we got these angry women who hate men, and then we got these other women who are desperate, who have no self-respect. So everything's out of balance. I'm sure it's the same in the masculine arena. I just saw this young fella. He was talking about going to Trader Joe's, and he said, that's where we all go because we like the women in Trader Joe's. They like how the girls dress in Trader Joe's. But he saw these two outfits that he'd never seen before. He's just like in awe. He's just like out in his car having to talk about it. He can't even believe these outfits, how much he loves these outfits. And one of them was a girl who had on skirt overalls. He didn't even know what it was called. He couldn't figure, he was like, he couldn't understand what this outfit was, this skirt overalls thing, in a tube top or something. He just thought it was the cutest thing he'd ever seen. And the other one, she had on a white t-shirt that was tucked into high-rise shorts, and the shorts were short but baggy. So they were real baggy and flowy, and the shirt was real tight. And he goes, I just love that tight on the top, loose on the bottom look, which I think is a popular look. I think it is, like, if you are trying to figure out, like, oh, what do I want to wear now? I think it is more of tighter. I don't know what it was before, but I know I have a lot of clothes that are like that. So I was thinking, well, I think that's pretty popular, tighter on the top. But I don't know. I'm no fashion expert. I mean, there's some of those people who are out there, that's what they just do on their videos, just push fashion trends on us. And it's so weird to me when I see older people doing it. It's like, but why? I mean, fashion and trends is just a money-sucking campaign. And one thing, too, this is creepy, really, because the Marina Abramovich, that woman was creepy enough. And their goddamn spirit cooking and all their fucking weird shit, and their fucking put semen and blood in and drink it, and God, these people are weird. And they do this kind of shit. There was a guy on a videotape, I think I shared it, and he said that he saw a video of one of the big pop star in an initiation thing, and what they do to him, the humiliation and stuff. And that was a part of what Diddy did. It's a part of, there's other names too coming out. There's Clive Owen or something like that, I think. There's a lot of these people. There's humiliation rituals and stuff, but they do really gross stuff to these people, and these people will still go and do it. I think that's why a lot of them end up going on drugs and stuff, because it's hard to face yourself when you have let people humiliate you and you did it for money. So, I don't know. We have a lot of stuff uh, to face in them themselves. But what was that I was about to say? Let me think. Is did I say what that guy's video? Did I say what the one video? Oh yeah, the guy with the clothes thing. That video. Oh my God, my chest is wheezy. But it goes right back with the, as soon as it becomes overcast and my joints hurt so bad. That was the thing why I wanted to get the NAD thing too, is it said it stops with the joint pain. And I want to see, because I keep being, what in the hell is it with this pain? And I'm sure that's got to be what it is with Stella too, this joint pain. And I don't know if it is, where I think when we're not in any horrible storms or anything like some of these other people, and so what's coming for us, but it can be that we're in this poisoning thing, like it's just this nonstop poisoning. So maybe that is what we're getting, and maybe a lot of people keep going to the doctors and stuff. Because I swear to God, I think the whole thing on why with all of the rain and the because there's a lot of other ocean towns that don't just rain and rain and rain. I think that there's the artificial duning, because I think that this area alone probably keeps the medicine thing on the antidepressants, keeps it from going. So many people are on them and in this area, and then they blame it on the not having any sun. So yeah, it could be, because I think that was already being interfered with and stuff. So definitely can be whatever. We're just being poisoned all the time, because it is like fucking with this joint pain. It went from like nothing to just over the top so fast. And it's so hard to get comfortable. And so I don't know. It's just nonstop with the fucking bullshit. And that stuff is real. But that is, like I said, even though it's like a movie, but we're in the movie. Like we're players in the movie. The movie's got to play out. These things have to occur. There has to be people who are poisoned to show that there was a poisoning, so we have to go through. But I think the thing is it's like the states of consciousness. It depends on how conscious you are of what it is that is you're going through, of how it's going to affect you. So there's some people who are going through it have no idea, and then they're on chemo and all this stuff, and they have no idea. And this will be a part of their awakening. There's all sorts of horrible things going on in offices and hospitals and stuff like that. So there's all sorts of awakening occurrences for people who are presently going through medical interventions. So that is that's a part of the awakening. It's not like, well, they shouldn't be doing that. That's going to be a part of it. How the medical falls apart and how it affects us. Like there's people who go through that. That's why I said it's like all the people going through things. That's like the historians. That's like the storytellers. That's like where we end up in the future. The things that we talk about of what happened during that time. These are the things. These are the things that are all happening. These are the things that we will talk about, like what happened during that time. And it will be from people who went through the experiences. And there's so many different experiences going on. Like, what's going on in Texas is different than what's going on in Iowa. And there can be so many different things that are happening all at once. So, as I said, though, it's all to these different soul stories. It's like a conglomeration of different experiences, and they're all different realities. This is not just one solid reality. The thing that is solid about it is that it's controlled. That's the part that we all have to wake up to, that we've all been under this mass amount of control. And it started from the time that we were children. It started way before that for humanity. But for each of us who are here in the experience, it was from we were born into it. But it's been going like that for a long time here. And this is the whole breakdown of everything that was. It's like a whole story, a whole long story has reached the end. And this is the end, and this is how the end plays out. And we all have these parts to play in the end. And that is, so that's why, this stuff has to play out. It's not like that we can pray God will come and save us from it and all that. No, it all has to just play out. And there's, lots of people losing homes and stuff. But like I've said before, that there's something else that's got to be healed. And it just is the loss of the house that brings up the healing. So you can heal this stuff. And then once you heal the stuff, the things will start coming back to you. Only they'll come back to you better and better and better. Things will get better and better and better. But you got to go through whatever the thing is that the loss is, what it brings up in your healing, so that you can heal that. And then there could be more things, you could be right away another thing. And you can reach a point of frustration, like you're on your third or fourth thing. It's just like, man, one thing after another. Just write it out. It's not like it goes like that forever. And like I said, a lot of things that are really hard, after you've been going through a lot of healing, it just starts being like it just comes to you. It doesn't set you off or anything. You just can look at it and let it go. You can see things more clearly. It just is, it becomes less tedious and more just easier to just let shit go. So don't get caught up in feeling like, oh my God, I'm never going to be healed. It's just going to last forever. And it feels like that, but it isn't. Things will get better and better and better. It's like, it really is those things like, each day, just try and get through that day. All you got to do is just get through that day. Focus your energy on getting through that day. Don't think about tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. Do what you got to do to get through this day. And that doesn't mean do what you got to do. Like if you got to go out and murder, you got to go out and kill, do drugs and drink. And no, try and get control of your impulses. That would be a part of your learning and your growing and your healing, is don't go do toxic shit. Is learn how to sit with yourself, learn how to reflect, learn how to just process, to go through the pain and the things that have happened to you, and be able to look back and face. And I think it's easier to face the things that have happened to you, like someone did stuff to you, can be easier to face unless you felt like you weren't protecting yourself. But I think the harder things to face are the things that you've done to people, and that will eat at you the hardest. So all of the different things, you just got to stay in the process of letting go, forgiving. Look, the same thing that you want other people to do for you, you've got to be willing to do. So you've got to be willing to be forgiving and loving and appreciative. That's how we're all learning this right now. This is what we're learning to be. But we've got to let go of all of this toxic parts of ourselves to become this loving, caring person that we all want to be. And that is how the world ends up filling with loving, caring people that won't hurt each other and really care. Like it really bothers you. If you see someone trip and fall, you really do go over, oh, here, can I help you? Are you okay? Instead of just walking past them irritated and, sigh like, oh my God, just get out of my way, klutz, because that is the society that they were creating. And they already had that going in some places. There's a reason why there's so many criminals in some places and stuff. Oh, it's Venezuela. That's the one I think that's having the big earthquake. Not Indonesia, it's Venezuela. So that, I think so. That's down in South America or Central America. So that's rocking and rolling. There's over by Asia, that's rocking and rolling. So I'm sure there's going to be some over here. Just, I don't know, you just got to expect the unexpected. Just go with the flow and keep working on you. That's the most important thing, is to give you time. And it's just wild because you have people who are so focused on all the bad stuff, but that's all they focus on. And then you got people who are oblivious to all the bad stuff, going on vacations, not knowing the whole world's falling apart, and they just want to still keep living that shallow life and stuff. And it's not to go on vacation is shallow. That's more what our lives are going to turn into. Is one giant vacation. It's going to turn way more into living a vacation than it is of how we live now. But it's the obliviousness to all the stuff going on, like even in the water. Like at one of the beaches, well, I think it's California. It's where I said it was brown the other day. The person was out there like, all the water has turned brown. It's full of sewage. So, and then you got people going out there on vacation, going out and swimming in it. And other people are sitting back going, no, it's full of poop out there in that water. It's like, but I mean, all the water has always been full of poop. I mean, everything that lives in it's pooping. And some of the poop is probably what people eat, like shilajit and sea moss and stuff, is probably waste, animal waste and stuff. So I don't know. I'm sure that the ocean thing is more of they've flushed the sewage system of the city into it or something. Like there'll be, add some more of the kind of stuff, that we'll see of like how these people treated the earth, and that we were submissive, compliant out of ignorance, like the damage that they would do. But it was like out of our neediness and dependency. Feed me, take care of me, give me a place to poop, give me a place to wash, give me, you know. And they created that. I'm not saying we did anything wrong. It was all created. But now we have to take a look at what was created and see the part we played. And we were focused on shallow shit. We were focused on trying to be better than the next guy, have a better car, a better job, a better this, a better, I mean, it's just no way to live how we've been living. So it's good. All this shit is going to be falling apart, and there's so much better to come. That is really true. That one thing that Donald's always saying, the best is yet to come. And I completely agree. Like, we've got so many good things up ahead. We just got to get through this hard part. It's hard, but that is the part where you just got to keep yourself going. And there's people fucking falling apart. They have reached their limit. This has been going and going and going for a while. So, I know people reach their limit. It's hard. It's very hard. But just remember, you just got to get through today. Just get through today. And then tomorrow when you wake up, just be thankful you woke up and just get through that day. Just take it day at a time. Don't try and lump it all together, because we don't know what's to come. We don't know how it's going to play out. We just know that some big changes are about to occur, and everything in our life that we were dependent on is about to be removed. And we have to learn how to take care of ourselves and be independent. And that there's going to be a lot of helping us, though. There's going to be like all these aliens, and they're all just multidimensional. It's all dimensions. So it's not like space creatures are coming to help us. Just other beings that are more sophisticated spiritually and technology, all that are going to come and help us more. And then there's more with telepathy. There's a lot. There's a lot. But this whole quantum system, the abundance going back, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to come in to change our lives. But we've got to do some changing too. We've got to go with this flow of change. So you got to remember to love yourself, to love everyone, and have a loving day, because it's up to you. And I'll talk to you later.